happens if one day you wake up and see a girl sleeping beside you, but she's no ordinary girl. She's a demi-human baddie. And she's so hot, she'll be making your everyday life really hard. But here's the problem. You can't do what Hulk's really good at. Smashing. Yep, the law says humans aren't allowed to bang this shawty. Or should I say, these shawties? Because you'll be living with a lot of them, making your life even harder. That's the problem this guy is dealing with. Kimihiro Kurusu, aka...
Darling!
So, bro is currently living with this girl, Mia. Yeah, I know who you're thinking of when you hear that name. Yeah, nasty. These two started living together. Now bro's daily routine starts with a morning full of bone fractures and suffocation. Because look at that thing! That thing's thangin'! And because of her massive figure, Darling had to renovate his house just so they'd fit. Not only that, but bro has to keep her warm. And it's not what you think. Since Mia is cold-blooded, he has to keep her with something warm. You know, hot bath, hot blankets, hot meat. Now, since these daily temptations are so hard to deal with, one morning, Kuroko Smith, the so-called cultural exchange coordinator, whose job is to keep demi-humans safe and their hosts out of trouble, at all costs, he must not engage in prohibited matters. You know, like emotionally and physically hurting Mia, or, taking her innocence. Well, if he fails to avoid any of that, bro will be arrested and Mia will be deported. And while Smith is warning Kurosu, she's also acting very seductive. But as things were about to get really spicy, Mia just grabbed RMC, had him choking, and warned Miss Nasty Smith to back the fuck off. So Smithy dips, telling our boy to keep his pants on. And the moment she leaves, Mia immediately tries to take them off, not giving a damn about the law. But before she commits what the Lord forbids in his 6th commandment, Kurusu stops her because he feels something start to break. And worry not, it's not his pee-pee. Bro just got his arms dislocated. Now you're probably thinking, why this mofo risking this girl? This guy is... just a guy. And well, here's the lore. You see, 3 years ago, humans and demi-humans were living completely separate lives. Then the government dropped the cultural exchange between species bill, and suddenly, demi-humans and humans could live together. Now, our boy Kurusu wasn't even supposed to be part of this program. But because Kuroko Smith can't do her damn job, she accidentally dropped Mia at his house, and forced bro to adopt her. And even though this was a huge mistake, the first time they met, Kurusu treated her differently. Bro wasn't terrified, he was nice to her. This ain't just a guy, this is her guy. The one human who saw her as more than just a half-snake monster. And now she wants him so much, she's ready to risk deportation and the wrath of the law just to get that darling experience. And things are just about to get good. So the next day, the two started dating, quote unquote. And Smith warned Kurusu that he should be with Mia all the time. Mia took that personally, so when they passed a lingerie shop, she dragged Kurusu's ass straight to the changing room and started asking which bra would fit her. Bro managed to escape by just saying, "They're both good." But on his way out, he grabbed something weird, until Mia pops her head out and says, "That's my panties, give them back." Bro got so flabbergasted that Mia yeeted him across the street. Still, the two actually had a good time together. Some random guy and lady started making fun of Mia's race, and she almost attacked them. But our bro blocked the attack and reminded her that both species aren't allowed to physically harm each other, since the crowd is starting to pile on and make fun of them. Kurusu decided to take Mia somewhere Smith specifically warned him not to go. The Love Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like bro was gonna do anything sus. He just wanted Mia to be safe from the public. But while they were in there, Mia started discovering things she definitely wasn't supposed to know. And limited knowledge wasn't enough to stop her intrusive thoughts, so she started doing what she always does with Kurusu. Then, in an instant, everything was like... The entire room basically exploded, and the cops entered the chat like the Ginyu Force making a dramatic entrance. When Smith realized it was just a false alarm, it didn't help that that same guy and lady from earlier started laughing at them again. Mia almost went for round 2, but Bro came in swinging and unleashed that United States of Smash, smacking those two clowns so hard they broke the damn window. But the hit got Kurusu injured, which just made Mia fall for him harder. Especially when he said hitting them wasn't worth getting deported. Plus he wouldn't forgive someone for being rude to a girl. That hit Mia right in the feels, so she instantly pounced on him crying and started stripping. But then Smith entered the chat again and ruined the moment because she was hungry. Mia got really pissed at Smith, but instantly changed her mood when Smith handed her something she dropped. Her panties. So, when Mia and Kurusu were outside hanging laundry, Girl was in a really good mood because of what happened yesterday. But when she said she was gonna protect our boy next time too, Bro started screaming because this girl just swooped in and yoinked him. This is Poppy, and since she's got a bird brain, she even gets confused about her own name. He drops Kurusu in a tree like it's an Amazon Prime delivery, then instantly gets distracted by an ice cream truck. So Kurusu ends up buying her some ice cream, which was a totally big mistake because Poppy's got no hands and she instantly drops it. And it gets worse. Kurusu offers her his popsicle, and Girl starts doing the Glog Glog 9000 because she's afraid of holding it and dropping it again. And everyone is just staring at them. But Bro makes it even worse when he pulls that thing out of her mouth. Cream goes splattering everywhere. Now her face is all sticky, so she decides to, clean up by taking a bath in the fountain, dragging Kurusu with her. Oh Lord! And look who just arrived! Mia! And Girl is ready to start World War III. Now we've got Snake Waifu versus Bird Loli doing WWE in the fountain, and Bro's just dying in the middle of it. But then everyone gets distracted by a random little girl stuck in a tree. Wait, how did Lil Sis get up there? Oh, she tried to get her balloon. Ah, skill issue. The gang tries to help, but Poppy's too wet to fly. Mia climbs up like a champ, but gets tired and ends up spooking the kid, who falls. Mia misses the catch, and little girl almost gets despawned literally. Poppy catches her, but since she's still wet, she can't flap those wings. But no worries, Kurusu saves the day. The parents thank them, and like in all classic entertainment, the cops arrive late. But then the officer's like, "Yo, where's Poppy's host family?" Kurusu tries to improv and totally rizzes Mia again, saying he's the host for both girls. Hell yeah, that's my boy! But just like any cop, Bro wants to see the receipt. Perfect timing! Smith spawns in with paperwork. The funny thing is, she always has that paperwork because no one else wants to host Poppy. And so, Smith forces Kurusu to take her in. Then Poppy says she wants to take a bath with Kurusu, and Smith's shocked that Mia isn't even complaining. Mia's like, she's just a kid. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, tell that to Diddy. Then Smith hits her with, "Nah, girl, she's the same age as you." And the moment she hears that, Mia rushes to the bathroom like Johnny from The Shining. destroys the door, and screams, "I'll bathe her myself!" So she ends up washing Poppy, warning her that if she lays a hand on her darling, there will be consequences. But Poppy's just like, "Joke's on you, I don't even have hands." Meanwhile, Kurusu is still under the door, dying. "Oh, please, someone help this guy." And just like that, our prayers had been answered. When Bro was about to go home after doing some groceries, out of nowhere, bam! He gets run over by an Musume. This is Centaurea Shianus, and she starts yapping that Bro is supposed to be her master. Master? But ain't no way Bro can answer that because his soul almost left his body. So Bro calls up Smithy. And damn, what in the actual goon is she wearing? Now Kurusu tries to talk to Smith, but she's too tired to say the full details. Plus, it's her day off, so she just says Bro's gotta look after Syria for now, then hangs up on him. Then a thief zooms by, nearly sending our boy to Jesus, but Bro was already in a different version of heaven. Now Shianus instantly decides they're going to chase him down, because her centaur pride won't let him get away. But since, the law says she can't attack humans, that's why she needs a master. Someone who can fight alongside her. So, to catch up with a thief, Bro ends up riding her. And it's not what you think, you sick, twisted freaks, you. But it's still not appropriate for him to do, which I'll explain later. And for now, let's just say centaur traditions. If Bro can't ride her, what the heck is he supposed to do? Well, he can't ride her, but he can grab her. Ooh, big brain, big brain. Though she warns him that if his hand starts moving in the wrong direction, she'll throw him off. Foreshadowing. Because after they chase the thief and do some street parkour, Shianus almost catches a guy, but gets shocked because our Bro accidentally grabs her massive plot device and rips her shirt clean off. Thief gets so distracted, he ends up with a nosebleed and crashes into paint cans. And since Shianus can't process what just happened, they crash too. And uh-oh, that guy's got her sword, and he's about to swing. And since Kurusu was the chosen one, Bro jumps in and blocks the attack. Well, did he die? Nope, Bro's alive. The sword's fake. But now he's got a bigger problem, cause Smith explains that centaurs have a really, really strict rule. Only their master can ride their back. For them, it's basically marriage. So if Shianus was against it, that would basically be, grape. So the moment he sees Shianus in the corner, Bro jumps so high and comes down sliding into a full-on Jogeza. But a girl just says he can call her Syria instead, and she's the one apologizing for getting him hurt. And before he can even process that, she grabs his hand, puts it on her chest, and goes, "Feel that in my heart? I know this shit is destiny." Then she starts referencing Greek mythology and declares Kurusu her master. And here comes Mia and Poppy. Mia's like, "Who is this horse chick?" Poppy's just like, "I'm hungry." And of course, the situation in the house just got even harder. But the thing is, we're just starting. Because sometime later, in the middle of the night, something serious is happening. And if Bro doesn't do something about it, he might lose his life. So here's what happened. Mia started yapping about rules, reading them like the Bible because she still can't get over the fact that Syria kicked Kurusu in the face, which was an accident since Bro walked into the bathroom without knowing she was in there. While the two ladies were fighting, Poppy is in the corner struggling to understand the law, but gives up because her brain only has 3 gigs of memory. She's so tired, she just wants to take a bath with our boy. Bro tries to say no, because he knows weird things happen in the bathroom with these girls, But he's got no choice since no one else can go with Poppy while those two are still arguing. Inside the bathroom, everything gets weird. Kurusu tries to help Poppy into this high school swimsuit Smith gave her. And when that's done, they get in the bath. Poppy's on top of him, and she starts talking about how she sees him like a brother. Aw, sweet. Yeah, until she immediately takes his hand and puts it on her chest, if she had any. Which is not something siblings do unless it's Sweet Home Alabama. And when things are about to get really aggressive, Surya bursts in like a knight in shining armor and takes him to the park to escape. On the way, she starts talking about centaur culture. Kurusu tells her to chill and try other things since she's part of a cultural exchange. And then he notices she's looking at a couple holding hands. She decides she wants to try it too. At first, she tries to play it off, but when Kurusu actually holds her hand, she gets so rizzed up she turns red and hides her face in embarrassment. But that sweet moment ends fast when Mia falls from the sky. Because Poppy dropped her. And then, things started to get out of hand. Smith arrives and tries to tranquilize them, but Kurusu accidentally blocks the shots and passes out instead. When he wakes up, the girls are apologizing and promise to hold back, but he tells them they should treat each other like family and not hold back just for him. The moment he says, family, Smith gives off an aura that Bro does not like. And it's bad, because she reveals that this whole time, she's been running an experiment so the law would allow humans and demi-humans to get married. And Kurusu is the test case. And in the end, Bro will have to choose which one of the girls he's going to marry. Oh boy, and since marriage is on the table, things are about to get really terrifying. That night, Bro can't sleep. Mia knocks on his door, worried about him. But when she comes in, she's acting weird. Yeah, she's always flirty. But this time, it's like she's bewitching him. Then Poppy crashes through the window, not even wearing underwear. But before things escalate, Surya crashes through the door and explains that the girls are acting like this because it's a full moon. Which means their instincts are off the charts. Hold up, is Surya good? She ain't crazy tonight? Well, that's what she says, but clearly she's not, because she starts flashing Kurusu too. Now Bro realizes these girls can't control themselves, so he's gotta save his own ass. He hides in the kitchen and tries to call for backup. But Smith isn't helping. She even drops her phone in the bath. The only useful thing she tells him is to use ice to cool the girls down. But it's too late. The crazy ladies are already there, and they find him lying on the floor, surrounded by blood. They calm down for a moment, until they realize it's just ketchup. The next morning, they all wake up to see Bro beat up, and none of them remember what happened. Kurusu plays it off, saying it's his fault for being so indecisive. This time, he's decided he'll start dating all of them as potential marriage candidates. He says he'll look forward to it, and then passes out. But Kurusu, my guy, let me correct you on that one. You won't be dating 3 of them, because there's gonna be more of them. So the girls still can't get over that Bro will be dating all of them. Mia is fantasizing. Surya's polishing her sword. But we all know she wants a different kind of sword. And Poppy is just being Poppy. When Bro finishes cooking, everyone gathers for dinner. But when Mia opens the lid, she sees something staring back at her. And that thing pounces right on her head and almost drowns her. Oh, no. Surya explains that it's a slime, one of the species humanity hasn't officially recognized yet. But no need to worry, because she'll protect him at all costs. Now when the slime shows itself again, Syria immediately attacks, but it has zero effect. They both end up completely soaked head to toe in that premium jelly. So the two wind up in the bathroom together. Syria slips, admitting she needs help getting the slime off her body, while Bro's lost somewhere between her VIP double-decker marshmallow pillows. So Bro starts cleaning her up and accidentally ends up washing her cheeks. Then panics and goes straight for her honka-donka. After that awkward moment, Kurusu asks why the slime attacked in the first place. Surya guesses it's looking for water. Hold up, if that's the case, why are you guys literally in the bathroom then? And speaking of, the slime's back again. Surya tries to grab her sword, but accidentally unsheathes the wrong weapon. And in her panic, she slips. Now our boy is completely alone with the slime. But then something weird happens. The slime transforms into a baddie, suffocating Bro with her twin weapons of mass destruction and giving him a very hands-on rub-down. As her whole body's liquid, she almost drowns him. But Bro outplays her by diving into the tub. The gang sits down to discuss what to do with her, worried they might get into trouble. You know, kinda like what Trump was trying to deal with. Illegal immigrants. But before they can decide, Poppy's already turned her into a friend and even named her Sue. Then they notice Sue looks small? Isn't she supposed to be bigger? Kurusu figures she probably shrank from running around the bathroom. Now they talk about telling Smith, but if they do, she might imprison Sue. Poppy, of course, mishears everything and thinks they're trying to put Sue in jail, so she grabs her and dips. While escaping, Sue panics when she sees the river, but luckily, she doesn't fall in and lands right on Bro. Why panic? Because too much water might actually kill her. Then Kurusu and Poppy start arguing, but she insists she'll protect Sue no matter what. Suddenly, a bunch of kids run up. Turns out, Poppy's been sneaking out and hanging with them. But Bro notices the boys are just playing with her cause they're straight up gooning. Sue sees this, walks to the water, and absorbs a lot of it, instantly becoming huge. So, wait, you're telling me she can be both a lolly and a mommy? Damn! The boys line up thinking they're lucky, but joke's on them, Sue blasts them all with water, completely outplaying them. As everyone's having fun, these two idiots ruin it again. This time, driving a pickup truck way too fast. Bro can't stop it in time, and one of the girls almost gets hit, but Sue saves her from being isekai. Then the wall nearby starts collapsing. Sue almost falls into the water, but Poppy grabs her. It doesn't last though. Poppy's got no hands, and Sue's last words are, "Thank you, Poppy." Tragic. But then Poppy hears Sue's voice again. She's fine. Bro drove the pickup just in time, and she landed in the back with a pose good enough for the cover of FHM. Now Bro breaks it to Surya and Mia. Sue's living with them now. Of course, they complain at first, but Bro says it's no big deal and tells them to think of Sue like their child. Instantly, both of them start imagining their future and change their minds. On the way home, Mia tries to warn Bro that Miss Smith is already at the house, so he better not go in. But it's too late. The second she says it, Bro's already at the front door. And Smith sees exactly what they were trying to hide. Oh, no. Crap! Now the gang's trying to plan how to deal with this when someone knocks at the front door, and Bro's shocked to see a full squad of contractors who immediately start renovating the entire house. Meanwhile, the girls dip because they think it's the government trying to mess with Sue, so they head outside. but they're being followed by MIBs. As they hide, Poppy accidentally gets herself wet. Sue starts doing something really weird. She's licking the moisture all over Poppy's body. Now the two ladies are panicking because if they get wet, Sue's coming for them. While our bro's looking for them, he runs into a girl in a wheelchair. And she's coming down a slope at Mach speed. Kurusu pulls out his plot armor and manages to save her. So this girl is Miro, and she's super grateful to Kurusu. Back to the ladies, they try to deal with Sue, and now they're all coated like Krispy Kremes with extra filling. But Mia starts teasing Syria that they'll have a hard time hiding because of her massive cake. She proves her point when Syria accidentally destroys a faucet. And now her cheeks are all wetty, and the slime's gonna do what she's gonna do. And Syria can't hold it in. Girl starts making those sounds, but Mia covers her mouth. Still, as the slime keeps going, Syria starts drooling. 2 down, 1 to go. Now Mia's soloing her, but she gets distracted when Bro calls her out and gets absolutely bodied. But Bro instantly stops her with a plastic bag. Easy. Back at home, renovations are done. Then Poppy thanks Miss Smith for building a room for Sue. But here's the thing. Smith doesn't give a shit whether Sue's an illegal immigrant or not. She just doesn't want another headache at work. So Bro asks why she even bothered building a room for Sue. Turns out, the room wasn't for her. It was for Miro, because she's a mermaid, and she's also moving in. Mia's instantly jealous, especially when Bro's carrying her. But that's only because Miro can't climb stairs. Still, Mia gets so jealous, she accidentally breaks Miro's wheelchair. But Mia suspects something sus about Miro, so she tries to team up with Syria and Poppy to deal with her. And fails. Then, while Miro and Kurusu are sitting by the pool, Mia sees Miro pull Kurusu underwater. Girl jumps in to rescue her darling, but the pool's too deep and too cold, and she starts losing consciousness. She wakes up to see Kurusu saved her. Turns out, Miro wasn't trying to drown Bro. Kurusu actually saved Mia from Sue, who tried to attack her again. Later in the bathroom, Mia apologizes, but still declares she won't lose to Miro and won't let her marry Kurusu. But the thing is, that was never Miro's plan. Her goal is to have a tragic love story, just like the Little Mermaid. Mia's confused. Heck, I'm confused. But Miro makes it clear she wants Mia to end up with Bro. She's happy being the side chick in this story. Poppy and Syria hear this and realize they should never underestimate Miro, 'cause this girl is crazy. So Mia's been trying to learn how to cook, because she wants to be a better bride for our boy. So she's leveling up her lowest waifu stats. But while girl's daydreaming, she suddenly feels something in her body. And it's not the good kind. So she starts zoning out. To the point where Bro calls her out that the pot is boiling. And she panics, grabs the hot pot with her bare hands, and sizzles herself like bacon. Now she's sitting there with her hands all wrapped up, refusing to come out of her room. Not because she's upset about what happened, but because there's something else going on with her body. When Bro finds something on the ground, she finally admits that she's actually shedding. Now the problem. Her hands are messed up, so Bro's gotta help her. So Kurusu steps in, but you can see our guy is having a hard time. Because this girl is auto-spamming those sweet, sweet sound effects so loud, the entire hood starts hearing them. And the thing is, they just finished doing the back part. Now the real challenge is the front. So Mia covers Bro's eyes and points to where he needs to go. But his hands end up at the forbidden door, and she catches him so off guard, she twists his whole body. Feeling guilty, she whips up dinner for him as an apology, even letting the whole gang taste it. But their souls almost left their bodies. Needless to say, don't let sis ever cook again. The next day, Kurusu comes back from shopping, and Poppy's trying to say something really important. She finally spits it out. She's about to lay an egg. Hang on, wait. She's preggy? Everyone freaks out and starts beating up Kurusu. Until Poppy clarifies it's just an unfertilized egg. Chill, ladies. There's a ding-dong at the door, and this shady dude just strolls in with a camera. This is Kasegi. He says he overheard their convo about the egg and claims he's a director shooting a documentary on interspecies exchange. Bro even shows an ID as proof, and since the girls are part of the program, they let him start interviewing them. But the more he talks, the weirder it gets. Asking the girls about their underwear, groping Syria, and pocketing Mia's shed skin like it's some rare Pokemon card. When Poppy's about to lay her egg, Miro shows up, but Sue casually reads Kasegi's mind and exposes his real plan. Sell the egg and the footage. Kurusu hands him a store-bought egg, distracts him, and lands a clean punch to his face. Everyone gets rizzed. When Poppy finally lays her egg for real, Mia covers Bro's eyes, and the girls start spamming the most graphic commentary imaginable. Later at dinner, since Poppy stored her egg in the fridge, Mia accidentally cooks it.
Oh, no.
Meanwhile, Kasegi escapes and ends up arguing with this 8-legged baddie, who turns him into a silky burrito and says she's interested in Kurusu. Oh no, these girls just don't stop coming. Now, somewhere around the shopping district, there was a manga store getting taken over by a group of orcs calling themselves the Pioneer Orc Renaissance Kinsmen. In short, Orc. And their demands were kinda disturbing. They wanted more orc-related content in the erotic manga section. Yep, that's it. I mean, sure, goon all you want, but is violence really necessary? And thanks to the whole no force on non-human species law, the cops couldn't do anything. But Miss Smith rolled up with a plan. Meanwhile, the orcs caught a member of the Cultural Exchange Security Squad sneaking in through the ceiling. The leader bragged that orcs could smell guns, women, or pretty much anything within 1 kilometer. Even though they found their captive attractive, the leader still filled her with bullets and called it self-defense. 2 other orcs searched the store and found a helpless girl who, according to them, looked just like the standee of Sweetie Witch Mako-chan. They pressed her against the store window and taunted the police, planning to give her the Kasuga treatment. That was the opening Monaco needed. He sniped the guns right off their hands from a rooftop 2 kilometers away. Then Dionisia burst through the wall and Echo slammed the orcs. Girl's an absolute unit. The dead agent from earlier? She was just playing possum. Well, she's still technically dead because she's a zombie, hence the name Zombina. And she instantly outplayed the rest of the orcs. When the orc leader tried to use the hostage as a human shield, she dropped the act, spread those damn legs, and heel kicked him in the chin. Surprise, she's a doppelganger. Name's Doppel. Finally, Miss Smith arrived to clean up. If Hannah reveals that Kimihito's homestay girls had been watching the whole thing on a recorded briefing introducing MON, Monster Ops Neutralization. Miss Smith then complimented Kurusu on his coffee and announced she'd invited some new co-workers over for dinner. But that wasn't the last time the Mon Squad had a mission. After getting a distress call from the fake director, they raided his place, but the spider lady managed to slip away. Yet they found something unsettling. When they headed to our MC's house, Smith warned the girls, because at the fake director's place, they found a paper with Kurusu's address written on it. Smith's asking where Bro went since they needed to protect him. Too late. Kurusu had gone out for groceries, And right in front of his house, he got abducted.
Oh no!
Now Caruso wakes up in some abandoned warehouse, hanging upside down, and comes face to face with his mommy. I mean, an Arachne who introduces herself as Rhaenyra Arachnira. He's surprised he's not terrified. Dude's calm as hell. Rhaenyra cuts him loose and teasingly asks how long he can keep up the tough guy act, and bro instantly crawls away. Not because he's scared of her, but because he's been traumatized by too many boobies. Man's low-key got mastophobia right about now. Just then, a security officer shows up to check on strange noises in the warehouse. Rhaenyra hides on the ceiling with Kimihito in her grasp. The problem is, the position pushes bro's face right into her chest. And he stays like that long enough to rise to the challenge, which Rhaenyra notices, realizing she's giving him a very hard time. The officer leaves, and Rhaenyra rewards him by hanging him from the ceiling, then wrapping him up like Frodo Baggins, but, 10 times sexier. Then she leans in, pressing her soft side to the back of his head, and going full NSFW. Now Rhaenyra starts sharing her lore, explaining that her old host family expected a cute docile liminal, not a spider girl with 8 legs and attitude, so they handed her over to the fake director, Kasegi. She's sick of humans, calls them hypocrites, and even accuses Kimihito of only liking her human half. But our boy claps back. Nope, it's the legs he finds sexy. Dude's had a leg fetish this whole time. Wait, so does that mean Mia never had a chance? Bruh. Anyway, before things escalate, the police show up with Miss Smith. She starts yapping about Rhaenyra attacking the fake director, but bro thinks she's talking about him, since he also punched the guy.
Oh no!
Yeah, what a dumbass. But this moment actually made him riz Rhaenyra, especially when he said he'd hold them off while she ran. And later, Miss Smith agrees to let her stay with Caruso. And we all know that if a new girl arrives at home, the day will end up not so good. Now our guy wakes up and reaches for his alarm, and starts grabbing the wrong one. After breakfast, Rhaenyra praises Caruso's cooking and calls him honey, which is something you really shouldn't say when Mia is in the room. Mia even tries to find some backup, but Rhaenyra charms Poppy, Sue, and Meryl with ease. Even Syria seems unfazed, claiming she has no problem with a new spider girl. Though she does start sticking uncomfortably close to Kimihito, squeezing him against the wall, apologizing, and offering to let him ride her. Kimihito asks why she's acting differently, and Syria reminds him that he's her master, and she'll stay by his side. She finally gives him some space when he says he's going to the bathroom. But things just go sideways when bro suddenly starts screaming. So Syria and Mia charge in, only to find Rhaenyra on top of Caruso. Rhaenyra spins a quick excuse. Syria buys it, but Mia doesn't. Well, it doesn't stop there. Later, Kimihito ends up in a giant web in his own bed, with Rhaenyra dropping from the ceiling and starts stripping. That moment, Syria slashes the door, grabs bro, and jumps out the window. While running, Syria starts daydreaming about running away with bro and marrying him, until a gang of human punks show up and starts trash talking. And bro gets grabbed by one of them, and since Syria can't fight back because of the law, she's stuck doing nothing. Until sticky threads suddenly fly in and wrap them up. Rhaenyra drops in and scares them all off. Syria thanks her, only to turn around and see Rhaenyra already flirting with Caruso. And that's when Syria finally admits she doesn't like Rhaenyra, especially when she's being all over him around her master. Rhaenyra just laughs and says it's fine to love or hate whoever you want, you just gotta be honest. By the time they're walking home, Syria still doesn't like her, but she knows she can't trust her. Which is why, when they get back, she offers to make amends and says she'll do anything Rhaenyra wants. Well, big mistake. Because Rhaenyra ties her up and starts doing spider exclusive premium content things. But the next day, something bad happens. Bro's sick, and the girls were really worried. While Mia, oh boy, Mia's about to play sexy nurse. But before things get weird, Miss Smith bursts in through the window and warns the girls that she's quarantining Kurusu because human viruses can mess up a liminal's body way worse than ours. And since there's no cure if they catch it, she's gotta keep them away from him. So she'll take care of him. Truth is, she's just skipping her actual job and crashing at Kurusu's place. Now, since no one can enter Bro's room, who's gonna take care of him? Well, Sue's their only shot since she's a slime. So they start teaching her by making her copy what she's supposed to do. First, Sue starts talking like Syria and does the forehead check. But it doesn't work because she's full liquid, and Bro nearly drowns. Next is Mero's treatment. Mermaids use medicinal baths, so they set up a kiddie pool for him. But it's ice cold. He'd have to stay there a week, and yeah, that's not curing him, that's killing him. Then we get Mia's cooking. And hey, the white rice actually looks decent. Until Mero tastes it and almost dies. Turns out, her white rice was literally just everything she could find with the word white on the label. Thankfully, Bro didn't eat any of it because Sue had already scarfed it down. Then comes Poppy's wing wrap method to keep him warm. But Sue goes full feral and freaks him out. Finally, Sue tries Mia's full body massage method, pressing up against our boy until he passes out. While he's out cold, she uses her antenna to peek into his thoughts. Finds out he's sick because he went out in the rain to rescue her. Feeling guilty, she decides to nurse him back to health her way. Bro wakes up later to find Sue basically reverse hydrating him straight from the source. And it worked. Bro's fully healed. Then the door gives way under the weight of all the girls who've been eavesdropping. While they're all picking themselves up, Kurusu says Sue cured him. And for the first time ever, Sue talks on her own, apologizes for making him sick, and says she loves him. Then Mia's ready to throw hands. Sue just switches back to mimic mode. Then Miss Smith wakes up, and now she's sick. She calls her co-workers for help, but of course, they can't, cause they might catch it. Thankfully, Bro managed to shake off the sickness, but the thing is, how's he gonna handle a death threat? So here's what happened. The girls were completely shocked when they found Kurusu was going out with Miss Smith. Well, that's what they assumed. Now, to find out if this is true, they all come up with this insane idea. First, Mero disguises herself as a maid in the maid cafe where Smith and Kurusu are dating, and Bro actually recognizes her, but doubts himself because ain't no way she can walk. Well, she can, with the help of Sue. Smart. But that didn't last long, because Meryl started sweating, and we all know what happens when someone gets wet around Sue. Yep, free sound effects. Next, Smith and Kurusu hit up an arcade while a video game cosplay event is going on. This time, Bro notices Poppy dressed as a cosplayer. But that can't be her. Look at that girl. She's got hands, and of course, boobies. That's not Poppy. Inside the arcade, they gotta inform the gang, so Sue acts as Poppy's arms, but accidentally drops the phone into her dress and straight down into her underwear. And then Sue starts groping Poppy, which attracts a bunch of gooners. Centaurea tries calling her, but the vibrations, plus Sue's, fondling, make Poppy completely lose it. Later on, Bro and Miss Smith head to a restaurant where Mia and Centaurea spy on them, sharing Sue as a disguise and hiding their lower half behind an ice cream stand. But, funny thing, Kurusu notices them and goes, "Why does everyone I meet look familiar?" The two try to listen in on their convo, but more customers show up. The noise annoying Miss Smith and making her decide to take Kurusu somewhere private. And I mean, a love hotel. Mia quickly goes after them, causing Sue's disguise on Centuria to rip and flashbang the entire crowd. Mia's still in full incognito mode, a reference only real gamers would get. And on the way, she spots Rhaenyra showing up, revealing she's been with them the whole time. Using her silk to pick up sounds from the windows, Rhaenyra eavesdrops on Kimihito and Miss Smith, planning to use it for blackmail. But Mia started to change her mind, saying Bro wouldn't cheat on her, and that Kurusu was probably doing this for a reason. Well, turns out her instincts were right. The two got grabbed by Tionisha, tossed into the room, and held at gunpoint by a surprised Zombina and Monako. Miss Smith, Kimihito, and Double are just sitting at a table, wondering what the two are even doing there. Now, everything is clear. They ain't dating. She's actually protecting our boy. As Bro just received a death threat. From someone so jealous they can't stand the thought of him marrying one of the girls. And if Kurusu did, they'd kill him.
Oh, no.
Yikes. Smith asks the girls to take Bro out on a date as bait to lure out whoever sent it. Mia's excited until she sees Meryl tagging along. Meryl swears she's just the supportive mistress. And in the background, Smith's team is on watch. But Tio, as his secret bodyguard, ain't working because this lady is a snoo-snoo. Miro drags them to an aquarium, gets them in for free, and even leaves Mia and Kimihiro alone long enough for a kiss. Well, almost. Because Miro swoops in and ruins the vibe with fish trivia. Mia's pissed, and gets even madder when she sees Bro enjoying Miro's dolphin show. She storms off and bumps into a smooth-talking lizard man who invites her outside because it's warmer there. Tio spots them leaving and wants to follow them, but she hesitates. Kurusu's still her top priority. Smith points out the target could be one of the girls too. Oh no. Too late. They're already on a boat. The lizard guy starts bad-mouthing Kurusu. Mia defends him, and then he drops the act. He's not a lizard man, but a dragon newt named Draco, king of reptiles. When Mia resists, Draco decides to claim his bride, only for Kimihito to charge in with a paddle boat. Miro's stolen Draco's oars, so he's stuck. Kurusu rams the boat, pulls Mia ashore, and gives her his jacket. Draco crawls out shivering, still demanding Mia. Bro's still too nice, even offering to help him dry his coat. But while helping take it off, he realizes Draco ain't a he, she's a lady. She admits she just wanted another reptile friend and hates men. Also, she didn't send a death threat. Then she leaves, swearing she'll never accept Kurusu. Mia then finds something in Kurusu's jacket. It was supposed to be a surprise. Bro tells her to turn around and slips a snake heart-shaped necklace around her neck. Mia's so happy, she nearly kills him with a hug. Later, Tio's got Draco pinned while Smith writes her up, warning her not to ditch her host family again. But if she's not the one who sent the death threat, then who is? Now, Kurusu heads up with Poppy and Zoo for a barbecue in the forest, and Bro asks Poppy why she even wanted to come here in the first place. But she can't remember anything, just mumbling that she might have forgotten something really important. Before he can get answers, Zombina pops out of the bushes, munching on their barbecue like she owns it, and casually warns Bro that there's this industrial waste around here that could turn people into zombies.
Oh, no.
Just like that, she jinxed it. Except it's not a zombie, it's an overgrown brute that starts attacking them. Then Poppy hears a voice calling her name, and suddenly remembers. The giant tree trying to kill them is her friend Key, a dryad she once rescued, and then totally forgot about. Key slashes Poppy and Kurusu with her vines, furious at humans. He tries to calm her down, saying Kurusu's a good guy. But Ki doesn't give a shit. He starts squeezing Kurusu, and he realizes the D might stand for Dryad. Maybe she's the one who sent the death threat. Right before things go bad, Sue falls into some industrial waste, comes back to be bigger, curvier, and suddenly smarter. Smart enough to figure out that Ki's size comes from all the nutrients she's absorbed. And the only way to shrink her back is to, suck her dry. And Poppy takes that literally, but she doesn't finish the job because Ki pulls her away, and Poppy can't reach the milk taps anymore. So she calls in Bro for backup. At first, he's flustered, but he's got no choice. And then everyone now starts sucking each other. So everyone watching is probably like...
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
And the extraction works. He and Sue shrink back to their lolly forms. Smith shows up and confirms Ki ain't the one who sent the letter because she can't even write. Then Smith promises Ki she can stay in the forest and that they'll take care of the garbage. Ki is fine with that as long as Poppy and Sue visit her and play with her. But Kurusu? Dude's banned. Smith starts interrogating Bro, clearly convinced he did something inappropriate. Then Ki asks the two girls why they liked Kurusu. And in perfect sync, they said because Bro was nice, like, really nice. And Ki adds that Bro is really gentle, especially when he did the thing, leaving Kurusu scrambling to explain himself. Meanwhile, Zambina's still buried under the wreckage, wondering if anyone's gonna dig her out. But the even bigger problem is, they still can't figure out who sent the death threat. That is why, in the next morning, Kurusu walks in with Surya, and she's steering him away from the street and clearing anyone who gets too close. Even when his phone rings, Surya grabs for it, worried it might be a threatening call. But it's just Monaco. She's not calling about anything strange, only that their target might not show because Surya's walking around in full armor. Surya argues they still don't know what the D in the letter stands for, and it could be the devil himself, so she has to stay fully prepared to protect him. So Kurusu just asks her to at least remove the helmet. But the thing is, Surya is kinda right about that, because up on the rooftop, a little girl suddenly appears out of nowhere and asks about Monaco's gun. Yet the moment she sees Monaco's eye, she freaks out. But that girl was just pretending and starts showing what she really is. A devil named Lilith, now planning to mess with Surya. Later, Kurusu tries to go into a game shop, but Surya is too thick and causes a lot of trouble. So they just head to the park for a picnic. Surya still feels bad about what happened earlier, but Kurusu tells her not to worry. He brightens when he notices the sandwiches she made, saying she's not much of a cook, but wanted to thank him. Kurusu takes one and says it's good, even if the flavor is a bit faint. Then they realize they're not alone. Rhaenyra's up in the tree, swiping a sandwich with her hands. She asks if Surya even tasted them. Surya admits she can't eat tuna or eggs, so she didn't try it, and walks off to clear her head, leaving Rhaenyra to watch Kurusu. While dealing with her emotions, Surya runs into Lilith. Thinking she's just some random kid, Surya vents about her feelings. Lilith smiles, starts hypnotizing her, and tells her there's something else she could do for him. Something any man would want. A little later, Kurusu finds her, and before he can speak, she throws herself at him and starts flashing her overgrown melons at him. Kurusu struggles to pull away, but every move only makes it harder for him. From the bushes, Lilith is enjoying everything. But she should have been watching her back because a huge wild boar charges out and attacks her. Screams are loud enough to snap Surya back to her senses. When the boar turns to Kurusu, Surya leaps in and knocks it out with a log. Kurusu thanks her, impressed. But she downplays it, saying she can't do anything else for him. Kurusu climbs onto her back, claiming he twisted his ankle and needs her to take him home. Wrapping his arms around her, he says he actually always relied on her. Meanwhile, Rhaenyra is dealing with Lilith and planning to do something about her. That evening at the Kurusu house, Syria announces she'll handle salad duty from now on, making sure everyone eats their vegetables. Mia and Poppy protest, but Syria is firm. No salad, no meat. She thanks Kurusu for relying on her and silently thanks Lilith, completely misunderstanding the situation. And somewhere in the dark corner of the house, something way darker is happening. Rhaenyra is interrogating Lilith in a very explicit way and finds out she isn't D either. Since they're having a hard time figuring out who D is, they tried a different approach. And this time, Bro will not have just one, not two, but a triple date with the members of Team Mon. Starting with Tio, and they're out shopping. While she's trying on some clothes in the fitting room, her skirt gets stuck on her cape, so she calls Bro for help. Kurusu manages to pull it off, but also pulls off her underwear. And now Tio's really pissed because it's so hard to find sizes that actually fit her. Thankfully, our boy can just adjust the size for her because he does it all the time for Mia. Tia's so happy she forgets she's half naked and tackles him. Next is Zombina, and she wants her date to be at the movie theater watching, of course, zombie movies. She really liked the film, but while she's talking, her hand falls off. She drags Bro into a manga cafe to stitch it back on. She's impressed Kurusu isn't fazed, so she asks if he's really used to gore and stuff. Bro ends up rizzing her by saying that if it were an actual corpse, he'd freak out. But since it's her, he's fine with it. That's when Zombina decides to tease him by detaching her chest piece and making him sew it back on.
Oh no!
She pretends she can't feel anything, but when Bro accidentally touches the most sensitive part, she starts making noise. Then we have Monaco, wearing a huge hat covering her entire face, making her bump into a bunch of things. So she asks Bro if they could go somewhere private. And no, not a hotel, just somewhere with fewer people. They find a quiet bench, share some drinks, and she shyly asks him to look at her to test if he'll look away like most people who get freaked out by her eye. But she's wrong, and ends up almost getting hypnotized by his eyes. Then Monaco spots someone spying on them. Zombina opens fire. Tio lifts a vending machine, and Monaco starts shooting too. The girl isn't dead because it's just a tranquilizer, and they find out it was Double. They also discovered she was the one who wrote the threat letter because she's annoyed that Bro is taking forever to pick the girl he wants to marry. So Miss Smith and Double teamed up to write it. Then the girls start talking about the second letter and praise Double for how poetic it sounded. But Doppel's confused because she didn't send a second one. Nani? When he gets home, he's brought the D, and the culprit turns out to be this lady with no head. Mia freaks out, yanks Kurusu, and they all trip. The headless girl falls, giving Mia a clear view into the neck hole. She screams and fades instantly. While Kurusu checks on Mia, Syria asks who the mystery girl is. He admits he has no clue. All he knows is she's missing her head. So Kurusu thinks it probably rolled down into the park. He's ready to go find it, so the gang decides to help him, except Rhaenyra, who stays behind with Sue and the body. Down in the park, the search is on. Poppy scans from above, Miro checks the pond, and Kurusu searches with Syria. Until Mia screams, only to reveal she's found a mannequin head. What the heck is it doing there? Syria points out they should hurry, not because of Mia, but because if a random civilian finds the real thing, they'll think it's a murder scene. Kurusu has to admit, yeah, that would be bad. Then Mia screams again. This time, it's the real head. Syria hauls Mia away and tells Kurusu to handle it. When he goes to pick it up, the head suddenly talks, introducing herself as Dulan, a being who guides souls. She thanks him for taking care of her body, then tries explaining her mission in the most overly dramatic, cryptic way possible, until she finally admits she just wants him to carry her back. Kurusu apologizes and lifts her, then remembers the threat letter and asks her about it. Before she can answer, she suddenly tenses up, saying her body is being violated. And that's why Rhaenyra stayed at the house. Things are already spicy enough that the body starts sweating, and of course, Sue joins in. The Dulan's head lets out a very not safe for public scream loud enough to attract a nearby cop. Kurusu panics, clamping his hand over the head's mouth as the officer approaches, and they do get spotted. But before the cop can do anything, Poppy accidentally slams into him from behind, knocking him out. Back at the house, head and body are reunited. Syria identifies her as the real Dulan, explaining they're like Grim Reapers who appear to claim souls. Wait, does that mean someone in the house is about to die?
Oh no!
And who would that be? The headless lady points right at Kurusu, saying he's the one about to die. And everyone takes this seriously, so Rhaenyra ties her up and tells the others they need to keep Honey safe. Syria orders Poppy to get Kurusu to safety, but since she's rushing, Poppy's sweet spot ends up planted right on his face. He's trying to tell her to fly higher, but the problem is she can't see much in the dark, and they crash. Luckily, Sue is waiting below to catch him. When Mia, Syria, and Meryl catch up, they start overthinking everything. Kurusu tells them to calm down, but they don't listen. Syria declares she'll shield him from fate, whips out a saddle, and gallops off with him. She starts daydreaming about him falling for her during their grand escape, until she snaps out of it and realizes he's fallen off and is being dragged along the street. They stop at the bridge. Kurusu says he's fine, and Dulan is already there. Syria is ready to defend Bro, but before Kurusu can explain, Meryl drags him off the bridge and into the river. And on shore, Meryl says that if he really is close to death, then why not leave behind a legacy to remember him by? And she means babies. To make things more tragic, she's already planning to raise them alone after he dies. She drags him underwater so they won't be interrupted, but he's running out of oxygen fast. Right before he blacks out, Mia's tail grabs Meryl and yanks Bro back to the surface too. Mia tries to squeeze the water out of him, literally, but just crushes his bones and knocks him out. Then, out of nowhere, Rhaenyra ties her up and strolls over with a Dulan. Her new plan? Stop fighting fate and just help him along to the other side. Mia yells that if the Dulan's going to take him, she has to take Mia too. She's shaking, but swears she can't be apart from him, even in death. Kurusu wakes up coughing, calling them all way too gullible, and the headless lady starts sweating. So Bro says that if he makes it home alive, he's going to marry one of them. As he's about to go home, a truck heads his way. Bro almost gets his sight-eyed, but it's just a toy truck. That's when they all realize Bro isn't fated to die, and that Dulan was clearly lying. Back at the house, Smith is laughing and saying that, of course what Lala was saying isn't even real. Dulans aren't Shinigami, just another liminal species. When Mia asks about the second letter, Miss Smith pressures her until she admits she was just interested in Kurusu because of all his near-death moments. Then Lala asks if she can stay with him, and Miss Smith's like, sure, why not? Mia, Syria, and Rhaenyra all agree to let her stay, each for their own reasons. Over tea, Miss Smith asks Kurusu how he knew Lala was faking. He says he could tell she was just stuck in her middle school syndrome. Smith then asks, wait, if you know that, then did you? Well, she's right. Bro also went through his own middle school syndrome phase. And the next day, Bro has a bigger problem. He's stressing over their food budget. He's been wrecked thanks to the insane appetites of his housemates, made worse by Mia's science experiment tier cooking disasters. When he realizes the fridge is completely empty, he drags everyone out grocery shopping. Except Lala, Ragnara, and especially Mia, because she's stuck cleaning the kitchen as punishment. But the problem is that Bro's go-to supermarket is closed. But just down the street is a place called Friendly Connections Market. The girls are amazed by all the stalls, but the shopkeepers start freaking out, thinking a mermaid will be traumatized by seeing fish, or a harpy seeing cooked chicken. But Kurusu assures them it's fine. They still eat those anyway. Mero stops at a fish stall, praises the vendor for picking such high-quality catches, and her pure princess aura leaves the guy speechless. She even gets a massive discount for a huge fish. Over at the veggie stand, the owner's pushing Surya to buy something. She refuses, until they offer her a free carrot stick. One taste and she's in a different plane of existence. And when the nice lady finds out they're broke, she happily offers them odd-shaped produce for free. Soon, other shopkeepers are piling on with bread crusts, tofu scraps, weird-sized eggs, and more fish leftovers. All to thank Poppy and Sue for entertaining the kids. Wow, who would have thought that Bro's problem is his own solution? Now Bro asks Syria to carry their giant haul of food while Mero and Poppy assist her. Kurusu and Sue stay to get more food, but Sue insists she doesn't need feeding since she can digest anything. He says eating together is important because they're family. Then Sue has this idea. She drags him straight to the forest and tries to talk with Ki. And the girl's acting all high and mighty about protecting the forest until Sue wraps her up and starts giving her extra censored chest service. Kurusu freaks out and pulls her away. Sue explains she thought it would work since Ki seemed to like it when he did it before. Turns out, Ki was actually going to give them some plants in the first place. Ki leads them to a clearing full of plants. Problem is, there are poisonous ones mixed in. Kurusu's about to give up when he realizes Sue can taste test them safely thanks to her unique body. They gather plenty, thank Ki, and leave, though with all the poison in Sue's body, she starts talking real nasty. Near a river, Draco suddenly jumps in, yelling that Mia's hers. Sue spits poison water right in her face, paralyzing her. Draco swears she won't hurt Kurusu, but Sue refuses to stop until she's done. Back home, Kurusu serves dinner. Everyone's happy, and he's relieved there's still food in the fridge. But Miss Smith and Mun show up for a dinner party. So Kurusu fires up the stove and cooks all night, to the point that the fridge is empty again. Then Smith says Bro shouldn't worry because the government covers all living costs for hosts. She just forgot to say anything. Kurusu, completely done with life, shoves his head into Sue's body and screams. Bro was pissed because all of his efforts are for nothing, but his pain is just getting started. And what about you? Do you want to see Season 2? Just let us know in the comments. See you next time!